right, they're coming through the horse walk right now. Getting ready now for our scheduled 6-rounder, George Best and Rodney Brown. You know, Steve, this is going to be a slugfest. Anytime you see records like this, 2-2 for Rodney Brown, George Best 5-6, you know, you just know that they're not going to be in there looking to see who's going to win the decision tonight. Tell you a little bit about our tail of the tape matchup between Best and Brown. Best, as we mentioned, he's 5-6. Rodney Brown 2-2. Best 30 years of age. Brown 29. It's a Yonkers Bronx matchup. Slight weight advantage for Georgie Best and a slight height advantage for Rodney Brown, 1 inch. We'll see how much of a difference that makes here. All right, but we're going to find out more about all of these pugilists and where they hail from and where they're living now, and perhaps more information than you really need. But the man who's got all of it, the magnificent Mark Bureau.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Yonkers Raceway in Yonkers for an evening of all-star professional boxing. Under the promotion of Star Boxing, President Joe DeGuardia. Tonight's bouts are under the auspices of the New York State Athletic Commission, the chairman, Mel Southard, your deputy commissioner, Mike Weisberg, your commission supervisors, Ray Locasio and Bob Lemrick, and your commission supervisor of medicals, Ralph Petrillo. All bouts are scored under a 10-point must system. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. Ring officials assigned by the New York State Athletic Commission. Your ringside physicians are Dr. Gerald Verlata and Dr. Michael Fiorello. Your judges at ringside, working on a rotation basis, Tommy Kazmarek, Julie Letterman, Steve Weisfeld, and George DeGabriel. Your timekeeper this evening is the fearless Frank Lombardi. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing presents this contest, 6 rounds, junior middleweights. Your referee for this event from Margate, New Jersey, the sensational Steve Smoger. Introducing the principals. First, in the red corner to my left, wearing the black trunks with the red trim, he weighs in at 147.5 pounds. He hails from Yonkers. Introducing Rodney Street Brown. His opponent in the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with the gold trim, he weighs in at 148.25 pounds. He boxes out of the Bronx. Here is George Simply the Best. 6 rounds, junior middleweights.
You were giving me instructions at the weigh-in. I want you to obey my commands at all times, respect the bell, and above all, protect yourself. These will be good shots. On the bell will be good shots. Okay? Touch them up. Touch. Come on. Thank you.
All right, getting ready for this scheduled 6-rounder on the Star. Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal along with Steve Farhood. Steve Smoger trying to get the timekeeper's attention, and we're rolling here. For a moment, Steve, it looked like Georgie Best was going to come out southpaw. I'm about to say, gee, I had a feeling that Rodney Brown wouldn't have known about that, but that's not the case. We saw Best on the explosion. Did I say explosion? On the Star?
Remember what night this is now on.
What night is this? Still got the jet lag left over from Sydney. Had a draw with Ika Siji back in March.
Good fight from what I remember, too. Very good fight.
And it was an all-African matchup on that particular night.
The boxing history of Ghana is really pretty remarkable. They've produced so many great fighters. Probably the two the fans would know the best, Azuma Nelson, one of the great champions of all time, and also Ike Quartet, more recently.
Let's not forget Dick Tiger.
That's right.
Best a little slow on that jab. Slips nicely. Rodney Brown's last fight this past August won a 4-round decision over Elgson Rodriguez. As we're halfway gone here in the first round.
I think Brown might have been a little bit hurt by one of those right hands Best threw. Seems okay now.
Best has been stopped in his career. Not a great chin.
He doesn't have to worry because he's the only one punching right now.
Rodney Brown, very lackluster.
Very lackluster, and conversely, George Best, very busy.
Nice attempt at a body shot by Rodney Brown, starting to wake up here as we're well under a minute to go in the round. Oh, and he staggers him.
He shook his head no, Rodney Brown did. You know what that means. That means he was hurt.
I think it meant that his head was still vibrating from that shot. Best landing good shots in there now. Well, has to watch himself as Brown comes up winging after slipping a couple of shots.
Brown kind of boxes with his chin out in the open.
Doesn't tuck it very well.
No, he doesn't.
Well, coming near the end of the first, and Owen. Rodney Brown inviting it, Steve, and you called it. Sat there with his chin out. George Best taking advantage of it. Steve Smoger taking a close look as he applies the mandatory 8 count. He's going to be saved by the bell and very shaky legs. Round number 2 of the scheduled 6-rounder, Rodney Brown. I wouldn't say it was a flash knockdown. He got dropped pretty good at the end of the first. See whether he's got his legs back underneath him, Steve, and I don't think he does. I think Georgie Best's going to take him out right now.
Far too tentative, Rodney Brown. He's just not fighting.
Well, he's not standing either.
that should be it.
He's shaking his head that I don't think he wants to go
on.
His
legs are very shaky.
Steve's going to stop this fight. Forgot to wipe off the gloves, calls him back in. He's got his hands down at his side. No, he doesn't know where he is.
Oh. Low blow there.
Smoger continues to take a good close look here. As Georgie Best landing everything that he throws.
He's defenseless on him. Really looks like he has no idea what he's doing in there.
This fight's over. All over. I think he could have stopped it after. Down for the 3rd time in the fight and the 2nd time in this round. It's all over for Rodney Brown as Georgie Best looking very sharp here. He looked as sharp as Rodney Brown has looked dull. Major improvement as Rodney Brown's getting his record back over 500. He'll improve to 3-2. Best's going to drop down to... Excuse me, Rodney Brown will drop down to 2-3. That's Georgie Best dropping down to, improving now to 500, 6-6. And didn't seem to have much rust on him. Hadn't fought since last March. We take a look at the knockdowns here in the 2nd round. Part of the problem, as you see Brown go down, tended to slip punches, not coming up throwing anything after he slipped. And was sort of a sitting target for George Best. That's the 4th knockout. Best has good punching power. Just had some problems since coming to the States. Had a lot more success over in Ghana. And had run into some problems over here. In particular, getting stopped a couple of times by Ronique Posey, Anthony Chase. but certainly turning things around here tonight against Rodney Brown. Take a look at the final knockdown. Smoker taking a good close look. Could have stopped it after the first knockdown in the second round, but waves it off now as Rodney Brown totally defenseless. And we're going to get the official time of the stoppage from our ring announcer, Mark Biro.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 57 seconds of the second round. The winner by a knockout, George Simply the Best. Best.
All right, there you have it. And once again, George Best improving finally to a 500 record. He's 6-6. Rodney Brown, he's dropping down to 2-3. And up now right now with a very happy George Best is our Steve Farhood. Give us a little indication of what Best thought of his performance. Take it away, Steve.
George Best, you took the play away from him right away. He was never in the fight. Did you see it the same way?
Yeah, I seen it the same way because I got more experience on him. He was scared when he came to the weigh-in, so I know I'm going to knock him out early.
The right hands that you hurt him with in the first round knocked him down. Then the second round, I think Azuma Nelson would have liked those right hands. What do you think?
Well, Azuma Nelson don't know how to throw rights pretty well.
You sparred with him much, right?
I sparred with him, and I caught him with a couple highs. When it's 2 weeks to the fight, they have to stop me. I shouldn't throw no right no more. So my right is a dynamite in a way.
You felt that he was intimidated at the weigh-in, Rodney Brown?
Yeah.
Why did you think that?
Since the first fight they pull out, he pissed me off in the first place that I was mad, so they turned the fight. They put it off, so I have to train hard and come and knock him out quick so that he won't get some big mouth and talk around.
Were you surprised, George, that the referee let the fight go along as long as it did?
No, I'm not surprised because the punches are too hard for him. He can't take it, so the referee have to protect him for the meantime so that he can get for the next fight.
George Best, a sensational 2 or 3 knockdown win in the second round. Arnie, let's go back to you.
Thank you, Steve. And once again, up to a 500 record is George Best. He said he was pissed off. He couldn't have said it better, and he took care of business and even the score. And we'll be back with more boxing on the Star after these words.